Let me explain briefly how this is going to work. We're going to have 2-minute opening statements from all 7 of the candidates, and then I'm going to start asking them questions. They'll have 2 minutes to respond, and then they will select another candidate to ask their version of the same question. And they get 1.5 minutes, or a minute, I think it is, to reply. Then we'll have all the questions, and in the closing statements, we will have right at the end of the presentation. Now, we had a random drawing to decide who would go first. And Daniel Webster drew the short straw. And that's the way it will work. And so we invite candidate Daniel Webster to make his 2-minute opening statement, after which he will be the recipient of the Budman's first question. Daniel Webster.
Hey, thank you all for coming. Thank you, West Orange Tea Party, for hosting this, and WFLA and Bud Hedinger for being the MC and broadcasting this. We really appreciate the opportunity to share our story with you. I was elected in 1980 with the endorsement of Ronald Reagan to the Florida House of Representatives. When I went there, I was in a deep minority, and I saw a system that was based totally on power. And it lasted for 16 years. Much like Congress, everything would be held till the end. They would all squish together, and then at the end, we would get a few opportunities, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, to debate bills that were 200-300 pages long. That's a system based on power. Only a few people at the top of that pyramid of power understood what was going on. The rest of us did not. And there was a reason for that, because they would slip in things like tax increases, fee increases, other things into bills at the end of session, and you'd have to vote on them. Or you could vote no, like I did. I had a little rock that said, when in doubt, vote no. It was on my desk, and I used that often, because if I didn't know what it was, then I wasn't voting for it. So I watched that for 16 years. I became the Republican leader, and then I had the opportunity for the first time in 122 years to be the first Republican to serve as Speaker of the House of Representatives. By 1 vote, I was elected Speaker, and I didn't want to be just like the ones that had held it for 122 years. I called it the 122-year reign of terror. And I wanted to get rid of that. I wanted to push down the pyramid of power, spread out the base, let every member be a player. Let's end session on time. Let's take up the most important issues first. Let's don't have this train wreck at the end of session. Let everybody have an opportunity to debate. Have the debates open and honest, no moving the previous question, which would eliminate debates and amendments and so forth. Let everybody have an opportunity. And in the end, the process was fixed. And we transferred from a power-based system to a principle-based system. You know what? That's what we need in Washington, D.C. We have too much power and not very many principles. And I'm telling you, if we replace that system, that broken system, with one of principles, I guarantee you the product will be perfect. And that's what we want to do. I've done it before. I know I can do it again. Washington is broken.
Thank you, Daniel Webster. We need to get this right, because we're doing this for you. How well are you hearing our candidates in the back? Does it need to be louder? All right, what you need to do, because they're boosted all the way, candidates, is snug the microphone a little closer to you, every one of you, and get a little closer to the table. You got to close the distance between your mouth and the microphone. All candidates, a little bit forward, pull the mic toward you, if you will. Opening statement, Patricia Sullivan.
Look at what you have done. Look at what this movement has done. I cannot express my excitement as I look out here and I see what this movement is doing across this nation. And I am honored to represent the Tea Party movement. I am a proud domestic engineer. Raising 4 children, we've always homeschooled. Graduated our first one last spring. When, at the same time, I co-founded the North Lake Tea Party. When Congress passed the largest spending bill in history, and they didn't even read it. And we came together across our county, across the state, and across this nation. 3 core values united us: fiscal responsibility, limited government, and free markets. And who can't get behind that kind of common sense? We have a great opportunity here in the 8th Congressional District to elect a citizen candidate, a patriot, not politician. And what we will do together is put government back in the hands of the people. Can I get an amen to that?
Time
Thank
is up,
you.
Patricia Sullivan. Thank you very much. 2 minutes now for an opening statement from candidate Bruce O'Donoghue.
I'm Bruce O'Donoghue, small business owner, native to this community, and one who wants to represent you in Congress. I'm one who has taken the fight for the issues of small business. We know that it's all about the economy right now. We know our nation is headed to a place of near bankruptcy. And if we don't get control of this, our nation will be lost forever. And I'm one who knows the bumps and the bruises that small business is facing. We know that if we don't create a climate that will allow for small businesses to grow and flourish, jobs will be lost forever. And we've come up with a plan. We shared it yesterday. It is a job that will start with Congress. And I will tell you this. We were going to start by a performance pay to those members of Congress. So if there's a deficit to GNP, guess what? They get to have a deficit in their salary. If there's a deficit, we're going to cut their salaries. We're going to cut their staff by 10%. We want Congress to feel what we are feeling right here on the streets of America. Unemployment hasn't gone down in Washington, D.C. It has gone up everywhere else. It is time to take the fight to Washington and cut the federal spending, cut the ridiculousness that has been taking place up there. It is time to allow small businesses and family businesses to take back America. It is time that we get this country in a place where the dream is alive again. No longer the government stimulating this economy. It's time free market to stimulate the economy. And by God's good graces, we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce O'Donoghue.